So this year's Copa America has been exciting, hasn't it? We're now down to the last 8 teams at the quarterfinal stage. Brazil being one of them, and unfortunately they're going to have to do it without their leading man Neymar. Now you may have heard last week that he was involved in an incident where he headbutted a player from Colombia. He was then sent off and received a 4-match ban. Take a look at the video. So do I agree that Neymar received, do I agree that the punishment was right for Neymar? He received a 4-match ban following the red card after a hearing from FIFA. And I'm actually going to agree and say, you know what, yeah, he did receive it. Because at the end of the day, he's a professional football player. He's there to play the game of football and not to create any type of violence whatsoever. And as we all know, it's a massive tournament, the Copa America, watched by millions of people around the world. You know, this guy, Neymar, he's obviously an idol to lots of up-and-coming wannabe kids. And when they see this, I wonder what goes through their mind, because they're taught to play by the rules. And, you know, Neymar unfortunately wasn't playing by the rules. It was a split-at-the-moment decision. You know, we can relate to that in the world that we are in, as in if someone cuts us off in the road, we suddenly have road rage, we get into arguments with people and we just lose it. And that's what happens in football. We all know that, and that's exactly what happened in the incident versus the Colombia game. Now, I looked up the rules of the Copa America. Basically, when someone gets a red card, they're banned for 1 match, and then FIFA interjects. And even though I agree with the decision, I do feel harsh for the player, because when you get sent off, that's it, you go home, you get down, and then you have to wait for a hearing because it goes to FIFA, because they're in charge of looking at video evidence. And unfortunately, you're not there to plead your case. They just read the video, they see the feedback, it's like a jury, and then they decide whether or not you receive more punishment than the 1-match ban. So I feel for Neymar on that respect. But I also say, looking at the incident several times, it's easy to see that Murillo, who was the opposing player, is just trying to put his arm around Neymar. But obviously something annoyed him, you know, leading up to the headbutt. And he obviously didn't take well to the friendly gesture. But then you also see that he headbutts, but he doesn't really make contact with Murillo at all. Murillo isn't hurt. You know, it's just like this. Like a jerking motion. I mean, it's stupid. It's funny. You know, I've seen worse for players that actually made contact and got done for it, and they deserved it. So even though I say I know I'm trying to backtrack and hypocrite myself, it's because of the intent that the player, you know, he raised his arm, he made the motion that he was going to headbutt. That's why he's been given the punishment, you know, and they made an example out of him. It doesn't matter what big of a player you are, Messi, Ronaldo, all these big names around the world. Neymar is one of them, and he is getting done and in punishment for it. So, you know, unfortunately, that's how it is. And, you know, Brazil will have to continue the tournament without him. I hope they do well.